one of my favorite people, America's lawyer, Mike Papantonio, host of Ring of Fire Radio, Ring of Fire TV. The website is ringofireradio.com, is on the line with us. Hey, Pap, welcome.
Tom, how are you?
I'm great. And apparently the Koch brothers are, too. They're not only pushing stuff like pollution, for the benefit of their refineries and their paper companies, but they're sponsoring a pension reform seminar for judges? Really?
Yeah, the billionaire inheritance babies, they've done pretty good buying themselves a Supreme Court majority, but that really isn't enough for them. Now their new endeavor is to try to buy trial court judges and appellate judges in states. The reason they're doing that, Tom, is the way they're doing it is they're holding a big junket. They're going to invite, and they've done this several times. Again, corporate media hasn't reported it, but this time it's in South Carolina. It's nothing less than a junket. Champagne, cigars, free dinners. Bring your wife. You're going to have your spouse. You're going to have a great time. And by the way, while you're there, we're going to indoctrinate you on the idea that the civil servant pensions are killing this country. Their goal is to convince these trial court judges that when a contract comes up before them, and the contract in question is the pension program valid, or was there a valid contract? Then they're going to ask them to say no, there is no contract here, even though in most states it's part of their state constitution that pension right flows forever. But what they've done is they're almost shameless in this. They're holding this meeting, and state court judges who are equally as shameless are showing up to be entertained and to walk away with a package of material like ALEC would give them. This is an ALEC kind of approach. It's being done by the George Mason Law School, which is questionable in and of itself. If you're in the legal business and somebody comes through from George Mason, you start asking yourself serious questions about why were you there. But the point is that particular law school is holding this in South Carolina. Now, what's really interesting about it is these judges, many of them are already sitting on cases. They're already involved with deciding cases today. Illinois, for example, in Illinois, you've got a judge up there that has to say this when he reviews this case. He has to say that notwithstanding the state constitution that ensures the validity of these pension programs, I'm going to say there's not a good contract there, or there is a good contract. So why should that judge or anybody like him be showing up in South Carolina? They won't give the names of the judges. They won't tell us who the judges are until 30 days after this takes place. And so this is a really ugly story that's not being talked about nearly enough.
Whoa. Isn't this well, first of all, how does this relate to the Federalist Society?
Well, it's all a product of the Federalist Society. The idea of the Federalist Society was that we need to come up with talking points that we convince our judges to go along with. Scalia's Exhibit A. Alito's Exhibit A. Clarence Thomas's Exhibit A of the product of the Federalist Society. This is the kind of judges the Federalist Society
So the Federalist
creates.
Society is to judges what ALEC is to state legislators.
You got it. What's interesting about this case is why they're doing this. Why would and this is being paid for by Exxon and Google and Walmart and half a dozen petroleum companies. Why are they doing it? They're doing it because they're saying the pension program is costing the state or the municipality too much, and we would rather have that money for our tax breaks. We would rather have that money for our subsidies. So take it away from the fireman or the teacher or the policeman who's earned that pension program and give it to us by way of subsidies. And if they can convince these judges that they should go home and destroy these sacred pension programs that have been, look, most of these government workers, they work for a lot less money so they can have this pension. That's part of the compensation package. But what this does, Tom, is it allows the oil companies, it allows Walmart to make more money in subsidies because there's more money to go around for them.
Wow. Plus, if you can do away with public pensions, it relieves the pressure on private employers to offer pensions or retirement programs.
Yeah, it does one other thing, too. It moves the money into a 401k, and then the Wall Street then gets to take their share of it. If you think about this, anytime you have this movement of money from the government to some type of Wall Street investor, whether it's a 401k. Anytime Wall Street gets their hand on that pension program, they don't make as much money for the pension holder as you would just if the pension holder just put that money in the S&P. I mean, the statistics are overwhelming.
Right.
When you take mom and pop's money, who might have earned this money as a fireman or a policeman, and you give it to Wall Street, the fees are huge. There's no need to pay those kind of fees. But B, they don't make as much money because Wall Street is either incompetent or they're simply trying to skim off more for themselves.
Oh, it's like the casino. You know, the house always wins.
House always wins, and this is another way to move the money to the house.
Yeah, amazing. Now, at the same time, the Roberts Supreme Court is largely since 2000, which preceded Roberts, of course, but largely since the Bush v. Gore decision, the standing of the court has just been collapsing in the minds of the American people. Does this open opportunities for us to, harass our legislators into using Article 3, Section 2 options to regulate the court, or even better, to pass a constitutional amendment just explicitly saying that money is not found in the First Amendment and corporations are not found in the 14th?
I think the only way to solve the court problem, Tom, is to put term limits. You can't have a guy like Scalia around the court for as many years as he's been there. And the influence and impact he has on democracy is, first of all, it's abominable. The impact he's had has been horrible.
This is what Phyllis Schlafly would have said about Earl Warren.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And the question is, do we have to give him lifetime appointments anyway? Why is it that we give him lifetime appointments? Look, you have the best example I give you, Citizens United. Now, understand, most of the public is low information where it comes to the intricacies of politics. But when they did a poll on this, 80% of the American public said that Citizens United was a bad idea. But add to that, what kind of impact did Citizens United have on the importance and the distinction of this court? Well, it destroyed it. You have over 60% of the American public who say, you know what? These people have become politicos. We've talked about this before. All they are, Tom, all Alito is, or Roberts is, or Thomas, all they are is politicians who made it far enough along, put a black robe on, and now they have this mythical credibility. Yeah. We assume, for some reason, because if you put a black robe on this guy or this woman, that they're somehow mythically brilliant, that they have some greater insight. I have 10 lawyers in this law firm that are better qualified on paper, honest to God, better qualified on paper than at least that majority of Supreme Court judges that are making all these horrible decisions. Sure. So we have to be realistic about who these people are.
Wouldn't term limits, though, require a constitutional amendment? Doesn't Article 3, Section 1 say
yes, that? It does. It does. It's the only way you can get at it is a constitutional amendment because for some reason the drafters built in this.
Now, the option that FDR proposed was
increase the number.
Well, actually it wasn't. It was what he said was every justice over the age of 70 in aggregate becomes one vote. They all become justices emeritus. Yeah. And there were 5 guys on the court at that time who were over 70. So the court would have expanded. He would have been able to appoint 4 more. But if nobody over 70 had been on the court, they wouldn't have expanded the size of the court. That seems like that's a way around amending the Constitution. You can do that legislatively.
Scared the hell out of them, didn't it?
It did. It did. In 37, they started dancing his song. Okay, Mike Papantonio, it's great talking with you. As always, Pap, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Tom.
We'll be right back. 15 minutes past the